All right, everyone, welcome back once again. This is once again a Beefcast production. I am still your casting host, Beef. We do have game two from a series that we just started. This is going to be coming out of the IPL Hot Import Nights Round of 4 tournament. And let's get into it. Over here on the right-hand side of Antigua Shipyard, we do have the Slayers player, the son of Boxer. He is MMA. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have the star of Team Most Valuable Player, one of the best Zergs, if not one of the best players in the world currently. He is MVP's Dongregoo. So we just watched Game 1 of this best of 3 series take place on Daybreak, where DRG was actually able to secure a pretty early win at around the 11-minute mark using a Roach Zergling bust. And we'll see if that ends up happening again in this game. Maybe a Zergling Baneling bust, anything like that. Some kind of aggression that's put on DRG to take advantage of the greed of the Terran player. Or if this ends up going into a more macro-oriented game. Already we have a difference here. The supply depot is actually in a different location. Going to be blocking off the entrance to the main. If he chooses to place anything there rather than the supply depot that was roughly in that position earlier. But we do have a little bit of a hidden Rax over here, a Maka Rax if you will. Going to be trying to get out of the position of DRG. DRG is going to say, hey, there's no command center down. Is there a proxy Rax? No, it's not really a proxy Rax. It's just kind of a hidden Rax just to throw DRG off. Let's see what he does go ahead and see here. He's going to walk in. And if he's really good, he's going to be counting SCVs and saying, hey, what the heck's the problem? And he's going to be looking over there, make sure there's nothing over there, blah, blah, blah. But here he's probably going to be saying, okay, this is kind of sketchy. But he already threw down a hatch first. He did actually see that SCV, I believe. I'm not sure if he was paying attention to it, but he could have seen it. We do have the early Orbital Command going to be morphing in right now. The Overlord actually going to be flying in. And so the Overlord's going to see that the Orbital Command is morphing. He's going to say, oh shit, he does have a Rax up. So this is actually going to prompt a response out of DRG. A little bit of fear of maybe, oh god, where is everything? But not to worry. DRG's got it under control. He's going to stay calm, keep making drones. Right now we do have the spawning pool going to be finishing up relatively soon here. I would expect that the hatchery is going to be finishing. Well, unless it gets killed or cancelled, it is going to be finishing. I would expect that there would be a third hatchery going down relatively soon, as long as he's making sure that he's not under proxy pressure. You know what? I'm going to actually change that back. He's not sure if there are proxy Raxes out right now, so I would not expect a third up just yet. So we'll see how that pans out. Back in the base of MMA, he is just going to be producing submarines out of that naked Rax while he does get his command center down for himself. DRG's over here watching the gases. Going to be able to see the gas timing on this refinery. Pretty standard. He doesn't know if there's a second gas up, but it's pretty standard for a Terran to have both those gases down. DRG at home is going to be starting his third queen, while the next queen is going to be making its way over to the natural. Probably going to be looking to drop some creep tumors, as well as defend the base from any kind of untoward aggression. Factory is going to be coming out for MMA, so it does look like this is going to be a Hellion harass strategy. Something that has fallen out of popularity a little bit since the Queen buff, giving them 5 range instead of 3. But with that reactor coming down, well, what in the world? Now, what is going on here? So the tech lab is going to be building. The tech lab is going to be for the starport, I would expect. This is kind of a strange build. This is a 1-1-1 right now. We'll see what he does go ahead and choose to do. I don't know if he's going to be... No, he's just going to be producing marines and tanks. Okay, so this is going to be a 1-1-1 off of 2 bases. Something that we are not... it doesn't really happen too often. I would expect that there's going to be... Poke Banshee's going to be coming out after this. That's why he's operating off of 3 gases right now. So, no, okay, he's going Vikings. This is a really weird build. This is not something that I have seen... If I've seen it before, then I certainly don't recall it. But back home for DRG, he is just droning. The third has gone down for him. Zerglings, or excuse me, Marines are going to be in position to try and make sure that Overlords aren't going to be able to scout this, but this one Viking I would expect is probably just going to be for cleaning up these Overlords rather than anything else. But the tanks, along with tank research there, that's going to pose a pretty serious threat. Yeah. Okay, so medevacs are going to start coming out now. Still producing off of only 1 Rax. This is not a whole lot of production for being on 2 bases. He's got double mule. He's got 3 gases. I would really like to see him throw down some more Rax or another factory or something if he's going to be going mech, because right now he's just not able to produce enough stuff, to be real honest. Yeah, so anyway, Viking is going to go ahead and make its way over to DRG's base. Going to start sniping off Overlords. This is a very, very annoying tactic. As a Zerg player myself, whenever there's a Viking out killing my Overlords, I get very, very upset. Puts me on tilt pretty hard. Evolution Chamber and Baneling Nest are down for DRG. +1 Carapace going to be started here. But look at this. MMA is going to be coming across the map right now with Marines, with Siege Tanks. Siege Research has finished now, and 1 medevac. So I would expect that, yeah, he's going to use this little pillar right here. He's going to load up Siege Tanks onto the low ground right there, and then Marines onto the high ground to have them cover as he just does a little bit of an assault onto this hatchery right here. That Queen is not looking so good. Actually able to escape out of there. And so, yeah, Marine's going to be starting to float on up there. It's going to get covered by the Siege Tank, so they're just going to put pressure on right here. As soon as stuff comes in range, which is right about here, it's going to start getting fired on by those Siege Tanks. 1 more Siege Tank looks like it's probably going to get ferried up there as well, probably onto the high ground this time, so that it can start putting damage onto things like the hatchery. So yeah, this is going to be a very micro-intensive game here from MMA. There's a ton of Banelings and Queens that are going to be coming up right now, and a bunker even going down. But first Siege Tank is going to get killed. Marines are going to be able to take out Marines, and a couple of those tanks are able to take out 2 of the Queens and all the Zerglings and Banelings. Marines, I wouldn't... Okay, they're able to snipe 1 more Queen. But with all of these Zerglings coming in right now, the Zerglings don't really need to put any pressure on right now. DRG is really not too much under threat at this point. Back home, he is powering up on a total of 2 more gateways. There was a Ling run by, but this 1 bunker was able to handle that. No more pressure going up in here. There was a tank, actually, that was able to help out with that as well. There's another Ling run by going on. So we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on what DRG and MMA are able to do there from the base. And a full bunker of units is going to be defending the last 2 remaining Siege Tanks over here. The Siege Tank is able to put some fire onto this Spine Crawler. The Spine Crawler wall coming in right now, and Zerglings going to be flooding in as well. I would expect a salvage on this bunker, but everything here that is not going to die needs to go home very quickly. Because this push has been stopped. Very nice play by DRG, making use of his Queens, making use of his Zerglings, and even managing to drone up at the same time, dropping a macro hatch over there at his 3rd, not missing any injects right now with all of his Queens. Very beautiful play by DRG. We do have +2 Carapace has already been finished with +2 weapons starting now. Yeah, there's the 2nd Evo. It's under some Overlords, that's why I didn't see it earlier. But Zerglings that are +1/1 currently are actually making their way over across the map and just trying to scout, make sure that MMA does not have a 3rd, which he does not yet. The 3rd command center has completed, it just, however, has not made its way over, which it is currently doing. The Zerglings are going to be chopping down the wall over here so that he can make room for his 4th. MMA's got a relatively scary looking army though. He's got 5 tanks right here, Marines and Marauders. He doesn't have many medevacs that I'm seeing, which tends to be a little bit of an issue. Only 1 medevac on the map right now, and I believe it was the medevac from earlier. Nice job spreading out his Siege Tanks right now. These Zerglings are going to be able to clean up a couple of these Siege Tanks, but that was a lot of Zerglings for just 2 Siege Tanks, but DRG's fine with that. He's got a ton of minerals right now. Zerglings aren't necessarily free, but they're pretty close to free. All the while, DRG is actually making use of all these creep tumors to try to get all the creep spread across the map. And it's looking like he's doing a pretty good job right now of that. It looks like a Spire has actually finished up for DRG, and he's actually going to be making a transition into Mutaling Baneling. So that's why all those upgrades are coming in for the Zerglings. 5 Mutalisks, looks like it's going to be all 4 right now. going to be putting in some pressure onto these tanks. This is what you need to do when you are using Mutalisks. Mutalisks are not for fighting any of the Marines, anything like that. They're not for fighting turrets. They are for fighting tanks, which cannot shoot back at them, and medevacs, which cannot shoot at all. Even if there's a Thor dropping down, he's like, oh, Thor is here, and like you can't kill anything with the medevac. It's just the blocks with the medevac. That Viking, pesky Viking, finally going to get cleaned up. Transition into an infestation pit is on the way for DRG. I would expect that he's going to have to kill off a couple of those creep tumors and then drop a hatchery pretty soon there. That's a really frustrating thing as a Zerg, when you have to kill off your own creep tumors because they're blocking a hatchery. DRG powering up, continuing right now with his 2/2 Lings and Banelings, going to be going in for a pretty large attack here. And then he's got a nice position right now. The Mutalisks going in to snipe some of those tanks really quickly. And yeah, it looks like all those tanks are going to fall, but the Baneling's going to be getting in there. Oh my gosh, why aren't you blowing those up? There we go. Okay, so Baneling's going to be able to get in there and kill a lot of those SCVs, but these Marines with their +1/1 stemmed up are actually going to fare pretty effectively against a large number of Zerglings that were able to get in there. And so DRG does end up killing a total of 33 workers right there, which is a large economic hit for MMA, but in terms of army, MMA is still doing all right. He's still producing some tanks, even starting to produce Thors as he's making the transition to try to deal with those Mutalisks. Unfortunately for MMA, there's probably not going to be a whole lot more Mutalisks that are produced. Pathogen Glands has started, in addition to Hive Tech, so the Hive switch is on the way, but DRG is saying, screw that, I don't want to wait for Hive, I'm going back in again. He's got a total of 32 Banelings ready to go in for the second wave. Right now his Zergling count is relatively low at 34, and he doesn't really have enough larvae to keep producing more Zerglings at this time. So we'll see what ends up happening here. The one Thor is going to provide a lot of damage on those Mutalisks, taking a big hit. Going to go and magic box that Thor. Nice job right there. The Baneling's going to be able to come in and absolutely melt a lot of that bio right there. But that was not an efficient engagement for DRG. He lost every one of his Zerglings, every one of his Banelings, and a few of the Mutalisks just to kill a couple of Thors, a couple of tanks. Didn't do any economic damage. That was something he didn't really need to do right now. MMA at home has completed 2/2, is going to be starting 3/3 for his bio, along with +2 weapons for his mech, going to be finishing up right now. DRG still hasn't taken a 5th base, which is a little bit odd to me. Looks like he could really use the gas income at this point. Right now, Infestors, along with +3/3 for the ground, are going to be started for DRG. But I'd say that MMA isn't in necessarily a bad spot right now. He's got full saturation at 3 mining bases. The main is going to be mining out relatively soon here. I'd say he needs a few more SCVs over there, to be honest. But who am I to say? He's the pro player, not me. And excellent job covering all of his positions with these tanks, getting those spread out, making sure that the Mutalisks have to really run for every tank that they're going to snipe. Back home, the Dreamer Clans has started along with a Greater Spire for DRG, and he's got 6 Infestors out on the map, 5 Infestors out on the map at this point, and that's good because they're going to be able to start getting their energy up, want to make sure that their energy is as high as possible. Zergling is going to be making their way into the defensive line set up by MMA. See that there's a few Marauders in addition to some siege tanks, all that kind of good noise. And concussion shells is actually not researched for Marauders, which is kind of interesting. You would think that with a 50-50 upgrade, just something really, really cheap like that, that he would put the 60 seconds into it to get the slow, to be able to snipe down some more Infestors or something along those lines, but we'll see. We do have one Hellion, one solitary Hellion that's going to be patrolling all these areas up here. You're going to walk into a couple of those spine cars and say, oh man, that's not where I parked my car. But what can you do? Creep Thread is continuing to be very nice by DRG. His 5th base finally taken over here. I would expect to see some drones transferred over to that location with some, let's take a look here, with extractors coming up as soon as possible. No, hasn't quite made the extractors yet. SCVs going to their demise up here. Not a big deal. And one medevac going to be coming over. DRG does see it. Lots of creep everywhere. Each one of these creep colonies or creep tumors does give vision, so he's able to intercept that pretty easily. This was somewhat of a distraction though, as Zerglings and Infestors are going to be the only thing preventing MMA from moving up here onto the creep and taking the high ground right now. The drop has been sniped by these Mutalisks, but right now DRG does need to buy as much time. Oh, beautiful fungals. Being able to clean up all but one of those Marines. Absolutely gorgeous job there by DRG with those fungals. 2 fungals taking out 15 Marines. Not bad at all. You really need to buy time for these Broodlords, though. There was a total of 7 Broodlords over there, it looks like. Yeah, 6 Broodlords, 1 still being produced. And he's just trying to buy time for that right now. MMA has 0 Vikings in this competition right now, trying to really bulk up on those medevacs. But as soon as those Broodlords come in right now, yeah, MMA is going to try to force forward. Zerglin's going to be coming in. Fungals are going to be going down on everything as soon as they get over there. Maybe not. Broodlords are actually taking a lot of fire from these Marines. 2 of the Broodlords, 3 of the Broodlords do fall, but the Banelings and the Zerglings are going to be able to clean up a large amount of the units right now. Broodlords taking a lot of fire from those Thors, but as the Infestors come in right now, they're actually getting sniped down by that Thor. 2 full energy Infestors right there, lost from that by that Thor, and Zerglings and Banelings trying to clean up the rest of the Marines, but right now it looks like there's actually some gigantic fungals going down for the Infestors on those medevacs. And 1 more fungal and he's going to be able to take out 7 medevacs. That's a lot of medevacs. 14 kills on that 1 Infestor alone, plus 3 Freelings with Adrenal Glands, cracklings if you will, come in and sweep up those doors, in addition to those Marines. And right now those Broodlings are going to be able to put in a lot of fire. Those Broodlings themselves doing a ton of damage, 7 damage, attacking very, very fast. And it looks like MMA is going to tap out at that. Yeah, MMA looking pretty starved for minerals at this point, with DRG on a total of 5 bases. Opportunity to take some more right there. Yeah, it looked like MMA was in a pretty rough position. Some sloppy engagements there by DRG, but overall superior macro, better engagements on the whole. And, well, Zerg's pretty strong right now. Lead him to take this game, and so that is game 2 in the best of 3 series. So DRG does, in fact, take it. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for IPL for putting out the replay packs for all their events. Appreciate it. This once again did come from their Hot Import Tonight's round of 4 competition. So I'll probably do some more replays from this event pretty soon here. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I have been your casting host, Beef. Make sure to check out my YouTube, youtube.com/beefpotpie1. I do appreciate all of your time, and I hope that you all have a great day, and we'll see you soon.